Hey Gemini, I just sat down with my deck and the energy coming through for you right now is absolutely wild. I need to talk to you about something that has been building beneath the surface for a while now, and honestly when I started pulling these cards I was not expecting this level of intensity. But here we are, and I think you need to hear this because what is coming is going to shake things up in ways you might not be fully prepared for. So let me just dive right in because there is no gentle way to ease into this. The cards are showing me a situation involving someone close to you, maybe a romantic connection or someone you have been emotionally invested in, and there have been secrets. Not little white lies or harmless omissions, but real secrets that have shaped the entire foundation of this connection. And Gemini, those secrets are about to come to light in a way that is going to feel like the ground is shifting under your feet. I pulled the first card and got the Empress, and immediately I felt this energy of something that has been nurtured and grown over time. You know that feeling when you have invested so much of yourself into building something beautiful? That is what the Empress represents here. You have been pouring your heart, your time, your emotional energy into this connection, believing it was something solid and real. There is this sense of abundance and creativity around what you thought you were building together. Maybe you have been envisioning a future, making plans, seeing how this could unfold into something lasting and meaningful. But here is where it gets complicated. The Empress in this context is showing me that this whole beautiful garden you thought you were tending together was built on ground that was not as stable as you believed. You have been nurturing something, yes, but there were hidden elements from the very beginning that you were not aware of. This card is telling me that you approached this connection with your whole heart, with genuine care and the desire to create something real. And that authenticity from your side is important to acknowledge because what is coming is not about what you did wrong. The energy of the Empress here is also about fertility and creation, which makes me think about all the conversations you have had, the dreams you shared, the moments that felt so real and promising. You have been in creation mode, building something you believed in. But the Empress can also represent a certain naivety or blindness when we are so focused on nurturing and growing something that we do not see the warning signs around us. When we are in that creative, abundant energy, we can sometimes overlook the shadows because we are so focused on the light. I am seeing that this person may have presented themselves as one thing while hiding significant parts of their truth. Maybe they are involved with someone else and never told you. Maybe there are aspects of their past or present that would have completely changed how you viewed this connection if you had known from the start. The Empress is showing me that you have been genuine and open, which is beautiful, but it also made you vulnerable to someone who was not operating with the same level of honesty. What really strikes me about this card in your reading is the timing. The Empress is about things coming to full bloom, reaching maturity. And that is exactly when these secrets are going to surface. Right when you thought things were finally solidifying and becoming what you hoped they would be, that is when the truth is going to emerge. It is like tending a garden all season long and then discovering that some of the plants were never what you thought they were. That moment of realization is jarring. Now the second card I pulled is King of Wands, and this is where we start to see who might be at the center of this situation. The King of Wands is charismatic, confident, someone who knows how to present themselves in a way that draws people in. This is someone with natural charm and magnetism. When they walk into a room, people notice. When they focus their attention on you, it feels intense and special. Does this sound like someone in your life right now? The King of Wands has this energy of being bold and adventurous, someone who makes you feel alive and excited. They probably swept you off your feet with their confidence and their vision. They talk about big dreams and possibilities. They make you feel like anything is possible when you are together. And that energy is intoxicating, especially for someone like you, Gemini, who thrives on mental stimulation and excitement. But here is what the King of Wands is really revealing in this reading. This person has been playing a role. They have been showing you the parts of themselves that they know will keep you interested and invested, while keeping other parts of their life completely hidden. The King of Wands can represent someone who is so good at managing their public image that they can compartmentalize different areas of their life without you ever suspecting a thing. This card is showing me someone who might be involved with multiple people or situations simultaneously. The King of Wands has the energy and charisma to maintain different connections with different people, making each person feel special and chosen. They are skilled at giving people exactly what they want to see and hear. And because they are so confident and convincing, it does not even occur to you to question them. Why would you? They seem so genuine, so present, so into you. But the truth is coming out, and when it does, you are going to see that this person has been managing a much more complicated situation than you realized. There might be someone else who thought they were in an exclusive relationship with this person. There might be commitments and promises that were made to others that completely contradict what was being said to you. The King of Wands in this context is someone who believed they could handle it all, keep all the balls in the air, and never have any of it catch up with them. What I am picking up is that this person genuinely might have feelings for you. The King of Wands is not necessarily malicious or intentionally cruel. They might have convinced themselves that they could figure it all out somehow, that they could have everything they wanted without hurting anyone. But that is the delusion of the King of Wands energy when it is not being used with integrity. They believe in their own ability to manage complexity, but eventually reality catches up. The third card that came through is Nine of Cups, and this one really stopped me in my tracks because the Nine of Cups is traditionally the wish fulfillment card, the card of satisfaction and getting what you want. But in this reading, it is showing me something more complicated. This card is revealing that at some point, probably recently or very soon, there was or will be a moment where everything felt perfect. Where you got what you wished for. Where this connection seemed to finally be giving you everything you hoped it would. The Nine of Cups is showing me that sense of emotional fulfillment and contentment. Maybe they finally said the words you wanted to hear. Maybe they made a gesture or commitment that made you feel secure. Maybe there was a moment or period where everything just clicked and you felt like this is it. This is what I have been waiting for. You felt satisfied, content, like your emotional needs were finally being met in the way you desired. But here is what is really happening with the Nine of Cups in this spread. This moment of satisfaction, this feeling of wish fulfillment, it was happening right before the revelation. It is like the universe or your higher self giving you this clear moment of what you wanted so that when the truth comes out, you can clearly see the contrast between the illusion and the reality. You needed to experience that feeling of fulfillment so you could recognize what you actually deserve versus what you were being given under false pretenses. The Nine of Cups can also represent someone being satisfied with themselves, maybe even a bit smug or self-satisfied. In the context of your situation, this might be showing that the other person involved felt pretty pleased with themselves for managing to keep everything under wraps. They might have felt like they were successfully having their cake and eating it too, so to speak. They got to have you in their life while maintaining whatever else they were hiding. They felt satisfied with their ability to juggle everything. But the Nine of Cups before a major revelation is significant because it shows that the fall is going to be from a height. This is not about discovering secrets when you already had doubts or when things were rocky. This is about the truth coming out when you thought everything was finally good, maybe even great. That makes the impact so much more intense. When you were already skeptical, revelations hurt less because you were somewhat prepared. But when you are in that Nine of Cups energy, feeling satisfied and content, having the rug pulled out from under you hits completely differently. I am also seeing with this card that other people might have been wishing for this truth to come out. Maybe there is someone else who has been hurt by this situation, someone who has their own emotional investment in this person, and they have been hoping for the truth to surface. The Nine of Cups can represent someone getting their wish, and in this case, it might be that multiple people are about to get their wishes granted, just not in the way anyone expected. Now we come to the fourth card, and Gemini, this is where everything shifts dramatically. I pulled 10 of Swords, and I am not going to sugarcoat this because you need to hear the truth. The 10 of Swords is about betrayal, about something ending in the most painful way possible, about feeling completely blindsided by a truth that changes everything. This is the moment when all those secrets that have been lurking beneath the surface come crashing out into the open. The 10 of Swords shows me that the way you find out the truth is going to feel brutal. This is not going to be a gentle conversation where someone sits you down and explains things carefully. This is more like the truth exploding into your awareness in a way that feels devastating. Maybe you discover something directly, stumble across evidence you were not looking for. Maybe someone else tells you, someone who has been holding onto this information and finally decides you need to know. Maybe the person involved has a moment where they can no longer maintain the facade and everything just comes tumbling out. What strikes me most about the Ten of Swords in your reading is the element of finality. This card appears when something cannot be repaired or salvaged, when you cannot go back to how things were before. Once these truths come to light, once you see what has really been happening, there is no unseeing it. You cannot unknow what you are about to know. And that is perhaps the hardest part of the Ten of Swords energy. It is the end of innocence, the end of being able to believe the story you were being told. The Ten of Swords is also about mental anguish. As a Gemini, you live so much in your mind, and this situation is going to occupy so much mental space for a while. You are going to replay conversations, looking for signs you missed. You are going to analyze every interaction, trying to figure out what was real and what was performance. You are going to question your own judgment and intuition. Why did not I see this? How did I miss the signs? Was I being naive or willfully blind? But here is what I need you to understand about the Ten of Swords. Yes, it is painful. Yes, it represents an ending that hurts. But it also represents the complete truth finally being out in the open. All the swords are in your back, which means there are no more surprises coming. Once you get through this revelation, once you process what you are learning, you have all the information. No more secrets, no more hidden agendas, no more operating in the dark. The Ten of Swords might look devastating, but it is also liberation because you finally see clearly. This card is showing me that you are going to have a moment where you feel like you cannot trust your own judgment anymore. But that is not the lesson here. The lesson is that you trusted someone who was not being trustworthy. That is not a reflection of your judgment being faulty. That is a reflection of someone else choosing deception. The Ten of Swords is telling you that sometimes we get hurt not because we did something wrong, but because we were open and honest with someone who was not operating with the same integrity. The fifth card is Five of Pentacles, and this is where we see the aftermath and the emotional material reality of what happens when these secrets come out. The Five of Pentacles is about feeling left out in the cold, about a sense of loss and hardship, about realizing that what you thought was secure and stable was not actually there for you the way you believed. This card is showing me that when the truth comes out, there is going to be a period where you feel really alone with this. You might feel like you were the only one who did not know what was going on, like everyone else was in on the secret except you. The Five of Pentacles often appears when we feel excluded or when we realize we were on the outside of something we thought we were at the center of. That feeling of being the last to know, of realizing you were not in the inner circle you thought you were part of, that is brutal. I am also seeing with the Five of Pentacles that this situation might have financial or practical implications beyond just the emotional betrayal. Maybe you made plans together, maybe there were investments of time or resources, maybe there are practical entanglements that now have to be unwound. The Five of Pentacles can represent feeling like you wasted precious resources, whether that is time, money, emotional energy, or opportunities you passed up because you were committed to this connection. But here is what is important about the Five of Pentacles in this position. This card always appears right before help arrives, right before you find your way to warmth and security again. The people in the Five of Pentacles card are walking past a church with lit windows, which represents that help and community are actually available, they just have not looked up to see it yet. You are going to feel isolated and hurt, but you are not actually alone. There are people in your life who genuinely care about you, who will be there for you when this all comes crashing down. The Five of Pentacles is also about recognizing what you truly value and what constitutes real security. This experience, as painful as it is going to teach you so much about what you actually need in a relationship versus what you thought you wanted. You are going to realize that all the charm and excitement and chemistry in the world does not matter if there is no foundation of honesty and integrity underneath it. Real security comes from being with someone who is transparent with you, who includes you in their real life, not just the version of their life they want you to see. I am seeing that this card is encouraging you to reach out for support when this all unfolds. Do not try to handle this alone. Let the people who love you be there for you. Talk to friends, maybe a therapist, people who can give you perspective and remind you of your worth when you are feeling down. The Five of Pentacles only lasts as long as we stay in that mindset of isolation. The moment you look up and see that there is warmth and help available, the moment you step into that church, everything starts to shift. The final card, and Gemini, I am so glad this is what came through for you, is Temperance. After everything you are going to go through, after the betrayal and the hurt and the feeling of being lost, Temperance appears to show you that healing is not only possible but already beginning to happen. Temperance is about balance, integration, and finding peace after turmoil. It is about taking all the painful lessons and transforming them into wisdom. Temperance is showing me that once you get through the initial shock and hurt of these revelations, you are going to enter a phase of deep personal growth and healing. You are going to take time to really process what happened, to understand the patterns that led you here, to recognize where you might have ignored your intuition, and to figure out what you need to do differently moving forward. This is not about blaming yourself, but about honest self-reflection and integration. What I love about Temperance in this position is that it represents alchemy, the process of taking something painful and transforming it into something valuable. You are going to take this experience, as devastating as it feels right now, and you are going to use it to become more discerning, more self-aware, more clear about your boundaries and what you will and will not accept. Temperance is telling me that in the future, you are going to look back on this as a pivotal moment that changed the trajectory of your life for the better, even though right now it feels like a disaster. Temperance also represents communication and finding the right balance in how you express yourself. After the initial hurt subsides, you are going to find your voice in a new way. You are going to be able to communicate your needs, your boundaries, your truth with a clarity and calmness that you might not have had before. This experience is going to teach you how to speak up for yourself, how to ask the questions that need to be asked, how to not accept vague answers or evasions. I am also seeing that Temperance is encouraging you to find balance between your head and your heart moving forward. As a Gemini, you tend to live in your mind, analyzing and processing everything intellectually. But this experience is going to teach you to also honor your emotional intuition, that gut feeling when something is off. Temperance is about integrating all parts of yourself, the logical mind and the emotional heart, the need for freedom and the desire for connection, the optimism of seeing the best in people and the wisdom of recognizing when someone is not being honest. The angel in the Temperance card has one foot on land and one foot in water, representing the ability to navigate both the practical world and the emotional realm with grace. That is where you are headed, Gemini. You are going to learn how to protect yourself without closing yourself off completely, how to be open to love while also being discerning about who deserves access to your heart. So let me bring this all together for you because I know this is a lot to process. You have been building something beautiful with someone who has not been completely honest with you. This person has charisma and appeal, and they have been good at showing you what you want to see while hiding significant parts of their reality. There have been secrets from the beginning, things they knew would change everything if you knew about them. Right now or very recently, things have felt really good between you. You might have finally felt like you were getting what you wanted from this connection. But that moment of satisfaction is happening right before a major revelation. The truth about what has been hidden is going to come out in a way that feels sudden and brutal. You are going to discover betrayals or deceptions that completely change how you see this person in this situation. When this happens, you are going to feel hurt and isolated. You might question everything, including your own judgment. There might be practical complications to deal with on top of the emotional pain. But here is what I need you to remember. This is not happening to break you. This is happening to free you from a situation that was never as real as you believed it to be. The truth is a gift, even when it hurts. After you get through the initial shock and pain, you are going to begin a process of deep healing and transformation. You are going to integrate these lessons, develop stronger boundaries, become more discerning, and ultimately find a new balance in how you approach relationships. This experience is going to make you stronger and wiser in ways you cannot fully appreciate yet. My advice to you right now is to trust what you see when the truth reveals itself. Do not let anyone gaslight you or minimize what you discover. Do not let charm or apologies or promises of change cloud your judgment about what this person has actually done. The truth matters. Integrity matters. You deserve someone who is honest with you from the beginning, who includes you in their real life, who does not have hidden compartments you are not allowed to access. Reach out for support when you need it. Talk to people who have your best interests at heart. Take time to process and heal. Do not rush into anything new or make major decisions when you are in the immediate aftermath of this revelation. Give yourself space to feel what you need to feel and to really think about what you want moving forward. And remember that this ending, as painful as it is also a beginning. You are being freed from a situation built on deception so you can eventually find something real and honest. That is worth the pain of this transition. You are stronger than you think you are, and you are going to get through this and come out better on the other side.